Hello everybody, long time no see. I'm officially back, I think. I have been doing sorry, I'm gonna do my makeup while I talk because I'm like a little bit anxious today. Things have been a little stressful for literally no reason. But so I've been like really focusing on TikTok lately, and it kind of annoyed me because I really love YouTube. YouTube is where I got my start. It's, you know, one of the first platforms I used, and I realized that the reason why I do TikTok so much more than YouTube is because I feel like I can show up to TikTok like the way I am. But with YouTube, I always felt like I had to be perfectly made up and like ready, and I can't get ready while I talk, blah, 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 while I coach you guys, because I know that's like not a thing. And like I was just in my head about it real bad. But I think I realized that you guys honestly really don't care how I show up, as long as I show up. So I decided I'm gonna show up a lot more. I've been keeping like on top with my subliminals, but that's only because I had all the old videos from my other channel that I already made. But as you probably noticed, so I combined my channels. So we're gonna have subliminals and manifestation advice in one channel now. It just makes my life a little bit easier, makes your life a little bit easier. And I already filmed a video for YouTube yesterday, but my footage got lost because I didn't have enough storage and it just didn't save what I filmed. It was really annoying. So I am going to refilm it. And yesterday I wasn't actually going to talk about revision, and that's the thing, like with my brain, if I don't do something right away, like when I get the idea to do it and then I have to refilm it, especially the next day, I don't want to do it anymore. Like I'll have to wait until motivation strikes again. So today I will actually be talking about the concept of everybody is you push down, because I haven't really made a video on it yet. And also, by the way, a little bit of housekeeping. I am going to be a lot more present on my tarot channel as well now. Like I've been doing a lot on TikTok over there. If you do want to get free tarot readings, I am going to start offering extended versions now moving forward with my YouTube ones. Sorry, I'm trying to really get this in one go. I don't want to edit this too much so I can get it out. Anyway, I'm going to be offering extended versions, and I'm currently, I don't know if you can see it, like my computer is on. I've been working on my website until like 3 a.m. yesterday, like this morning, because I really want to get it out and get it going and give you guys the opportunity to book and all of that. So that will definitely be up very, very soon. I am also very, very aware that we are in an inflation. Why do I keep saying inflammation? That's so weird. Everyone I talk to, I say inflammation. I'm like, wait, it's inflation. We are in an inflation. There you go. A financial inflation at the moment. So I wanted to be really, really mindful of that, because I know not a lot of people can afford extra stuff like this, but I still wanted to give you guys the opportunity to book me if you really needed me to. So I changed my prices quite severely. They're going to be much more affordable now, just because I wanted to make it, I initially upped them so it wouldn't be as accessible, just because I wanted to weed out the people that didn't really need it, so you could only consume my free content instead, so I could really focus on the people who really, really needed it. I wanted to make it more accessible to everybody, because I know that a lot of people like currently need extra help outside of what I can offer them for free. So I will also try and see if I can offer like payment plans. I don't know if the website provider that I use will offer that, like the payment plan that I'm using one of the highest ones, but I have to see. It's not the highest ones. I have to see if that will do. Yeah, but basically I want to be able to offer this to anybody. And I also try to, especially with the tarot readings, do the ones that I give for free as in-depth as humanly possible. So please just be mindful of that I am trying to give out as much free content as I can. And like I said, readings and bookings will open very, very, very soon. Rosie, you're fine. Probably by the end of this week was kind of the plan. And then, I don't know if I've mentioned it in my podcast, I will also be offering a membership option very soon. Not right now. I'm trying to work on my perfectionism. I feel like I can only release something once it's perfect, and I realized that it's not how it works. Like, I can release it even if it's not perfect. So that is what we will be doing. So we will be releasing the website, even though it is not done how I wanted it to. But that's okay, because I know there's like weird energies going on right now. And I know that a lot of people need guidance and advice, especially right now. So I want to offer that. Anyway, let's get into the video. Oh, also a quick housekeeping. So I am going to be uploading 2 subliminals a week and 2 manifestation videos. So it will either be a video or a podcast, depending on how I feel, how it goes, how they perform also. Not necessarily because of the numbers, because my channel isn't monetized. Like, this means nothing to me. It's more about the fact that I want to make sure that it reaches people and that people want to listen to it. And I also haven't really gotten around to figuring out how to release a podcast as a podcast versus just a YouTube video. So I gotta look into that a little bit, because I know there's like third-party providers you gotta use or something like that. I'm not really sure. Anyway, let's get into today's topic, and that is the theme of everybody is you pushed out. Now, I've seen quite a bit of like misinformation out on the internet, just like with everything, and that's the thing, like, especially when it comes to manifestation and coaching and stuff. It's not a regulated industry, so anybody can like tell you whatever they want. Do I want to leave it like this? That was an accident, but I kind of like it. I don't know. No, I'm probably gonna do the full thing. And one of the things that I noticed was people were making videos now about the Tinkerbell effect, which, by the way, in case you know, it's not a new manifestation technique. It's not even a thing. Someone just made it up and turned it into like a viral thing, and now everybody's talking about it. People who aren't even qualified to talk about it. And what I noticed is they're literally just taking the law of assumption and repackaging it as the law of attraction and then feeding it to you guys, because it's trendy right now. So don't like listen to people who are doing both manifestation and witchy content when they have absolutely no idea what they're doing. But you probably attracted those people because there's something in your self-concept or in your subconscious that's kind of asking for it. So oftentimes this happens when we consume too much manifestation content and too much witchy content, and that is oftentimes the case when we feel like we don't get the answer that we want. Now, why does that happen? Because we don't have enough faith in ourselves and the knowledge that we already have, that we can already get the result that we want. And the problem is the result isn't dependent on how many techniques you use or the kind of techniques that you use or whatever the case may be. Like, the result is dependent on your consistency, like you showing up. That's the number one and only thing that really matters. And the problem is when we try to show up in a proper way, sometimes there are people that get in our way. And we feel like it's the universe testing us, or, you know, like, especially when we react, right? We get very upset at ourselves that we reacted and we don't understand, like we've been doing everything right, we've been affirming, we've been doing this, that, and the other, and there's still people that show up and test us. Now, the thing is this. So the way that everybody is you pushed out works is that the way that people treat you is the way that your self-concept and the story that you have around people is set up. Again, I always tell you there's 3 sides to every manifestation, and that's your self-concept, the story you have around people in general, and the story that you have about particular people that you engage with. So if you are someone who, for example, attracts narcissists, you will always attract somebody who will play the victim, right? And you think like, oh, you know, you understand that they're the ones who are in the wrong because they're the ones who are playing the victim, but you don't understand oftentimes that it's your self-concept that even allowed them in your life to begin with. And that can be really, really triggering because oftentimes it sounds like victim blaming, and that's not the case at all. Like, I've had to deal with a lot of narcissists in my life. It's one of the reasons why I'm drained this morning, because I had to deal with one not too long ago. So I realized that And that's the thing. I got rid of most of the narcissists in my life, but there's one in my life that I'm currently not even in touch with. That's still siphoning my energy. Like I can still feel that person. They're trying to break into my dreams, stuff like that. Those are all things that you can stop. It's just I realized that my subconscious assumptions weren't fully formed to the point where I felt completely protected by that. So there was still something in me that allowed that to come in, right? And the problem is that we oftentimes think like there's nothing we can do. If we attract them, that's just the way it is. But we can even change them. So you don't even need to get rid of them in order to change them, because all that they're doing is displaying a set of beliefs that you have about yourself and the way that the world works. Now, for example, if you are someone who, as an adult, attracts a lot of narcissists into your life, that's oftentimes because you were abused as a child, or you were raised by a narcissist, right? Or you were raised by someone who has a malignant borderline personality disorder, which, by the way, I don't really believe in villainizing mental illness. Having a mental illness does not make you a bad person at all. I actually, and this might be surprising to you as like a psychologist, I have my own set of beliefs around mental illness, and I don't even believe that it's like an illness in that aspect. I think it was just villainized to make you seem like a threat when you are actually above other people, if that makes sense. Like you're just more heightened and more aware of the things that are going on around you, and people realize that there's a lot of power behind it, so they villainized it like they do with everything that they're afraid of and can't control. However, so the core belief that you have that resulted in you attracting that narcissist to begin with doesn't even stem from you. It stems from the people who were supposed to look out for you, who did you dirty, right? But it's your responsibility as an adult to now fix that when you know better. So in terms of changing who you're with, you need to look at yourself first and ask yourself, like, what is it that I believe about the world around me as well as myself that allows for these people to come in and treat me like this to begin with? Like, what am I thinking wrong that makes anyone ever think that they can treat me this way? And you might also think, oh, well, but how does that work if I meet a stranger, right? Because you don't really go around and just think like, oh, this stranger that I'm about to meet is going to be really rude to me. You know, sometimes we meet people and they're just nasty for no reason. Like, of course, that is not how you go around and see the world. But oftentimes, subconsciously, hang on, guys, I have to finish this. Oftentimes, we subconsciously get a vibe, right? And we don't even realize until it's too late, because we are not really trained or taught to be in tune with our intuition. So we ignore it. You might have gotten like this tiny feeling in your gut. It was like a millisecond maybe. You probably didn't even realize. But your subconscious noticed. So your subconscious noticed that there's something going on. And what it did was it looked into your, like, it's almost like a file folder full of responses, automatic responses that you have. And your subconscious picks out the one that fits your initial gut reaction the best. And if you've been getting an off feeling, it might connect that to you usually getting off feelings when people are really rude to you. So now your subconscious makes the subconscious decision that this person is probably going to be rude to you. And 2 seconds later, you might meet them, and all of a sudden they're rude to you and you don't even know why. That's how it works. That's how everybody is you pushed out works, which is why there is literally no end to your manifestation journey in terms of learning how to navigate the world. There will always be a new person that you meet that might trigger you. There will always be a new belief that you haven't really challenged yet that all of a sudden comes up and you need to challenge it. And that's the whole thing. Like, it's not always easy or, fixed just because you I don't know, fixed your relationship with your SP. You know what I mean? It's not as black and white. There's a lot of layers to it. And I'm literally the most organized, disorganized person on the planet, I swear to God. Anyway. Okay, I literally can't find my tweezers. And that's the thing. There's always going to be something new for you to learn and something new for you to figure out, because that's just life. That's what being human is all about. So using the concept of everybody is you pushed out, however, to navigate your surroundings is the best and quickest and easiest way for you to figure out what you still need to work on. Even if you think that you have it all figured out already. If you run into someone and all of a sudden they're really rude to you for no reason, even though you didn't know them before, it might be a sign that you need to look into your self-concept. If you manifested your SP back and all of a sudden, you know, things start falling apart again and you don't even understand why, maybe it's time to look into your self-concept again. Or maybe it's time to look into the story that you have around them, right? So there's always there's so many nuts and bolts to every manifestation that you get, and you can turn all of them, and you're always going to have to tweak and turn some of them. But there are 3 main bolts in the back, right? 3 light bulbs, if you will, that are dependent on you always tweaking them to continue them being on. And when they start to flicker, you need to go and tweak that bolt again, you know, and that's the whole thing. You will always have to tweak it one way or another. But that's life. You know, life would be boring if it wasn't like that. So just embrace it and be mindful when you interact someone with the next time and see what kind of pattern comes up. Like me, for example, the stressful situation that I've been going through for the last couple days, I noticed that it's repeating patterns of my childhood abuse. You know, it's repeating patterns of people, you know, treating me a certain way or doing certain things to me or saying certain things to and about me that are very, very reminiscent of the way I was abused back home. So I was like, okay, obviously, and that's the thing, you don't even need to be in contact with people. Sometimes you just know. You can feel them talking behind your back, you know what I mean? You can tell. And I mean, not to mention, I also do tarot, so I know what's up. But regardless of that, tarot, again, is just entering your subconscious, and I'm going to make a separate video about this. But basically, if you can feel that anything is off, doesn't matter how tiny it is, that's when you need to start doing something about it. Because you have to remember that every assumption that you have, especially when it comes to other people, your assumptions can be wrong. You can be 100% wrong about your assumption. But if everybody is you pushed out, and every assumption that you have about yourself and the other people has to manifest, if you hold on to this wrong assumption long enough, it will materialize in the 3D. And that's the most important thing. I, for example, talked to the person this morning that abused me, and they really, really brought me back down, and it was very healing to have that conversation with them. So whatever happened really needed to happen, and it had nothing to do with the other person. That wasn't important. It was important for me to have this discussion with this person who wronged me, to figure out what's going on in my self-concept and what I need to fix and how I'm, going wrong. And then it goes back into stuff that I, experienced in high school. People always making up rumors about me, stuff like that. So it's like this whole chain of events that you might not have even realized is happening to you. And that is why, for example, if something happens to you that you don't like, you're going to experience it over and over again until you realize that every person is just a mirror and a reflection of the way you see yourself and the way you see the world. And I get it. I used to be in victim mode all the time. I used to be so upset about, why things are the way they are. I didn't understand, and I felt so wronged, and I knew that I was being wronged, but it was almost like it didn't matter to anybody. And I just felt, it makes you feel really unimportant as a human and just insignificant in every way. And it's really hurtful because you just don't understand how people can be so cruel and vile and just inhumane. And then to kind of figure out that it's kind of your fault is very triggering and is very grounding. And it's very humbling. Humbling is the word I was looking for. It's very humbling to then realize that this is the case. However, I remember back when I was in high school and I was about to change high schools for the 4th time because it was so bad. My mother actually told me, she said, don't change high schools. Don't you understand and see that this is happening to you all the time? And even though you are the victim, because you're the common denominator in this. People are doing this to you because they can almost smell the fact that you are a victim, and they can do this to you, and they can treat you however they want. And they can, literally just get into your face for no reason. And they know they're going to get a reaction out of you. And they know that you are the perfect target. And that was like my first, I will never forget this conversation. I was 16, I believe, at the time. I don't remember times very well, but it was a very, a very, very important conversation that I just never forgot. And now I can teach that to you guys. So that's the thing. No matter what happens in life, you're always the common denominator. And everybody that is surrounding you is just a mirror of you. They're just you pushed out. Okay? They're just a mirror of you. And that's the thing. There are certain people who are like healers, spiritual healers, who are mirrors to everybody. And that can be tough, especially when you are a mirror to narcissists. It can be incredibly difficult because not only do you take on their traits at times, but you constantly have to deal with other people's pain while nobody's taking care of you. It's draining, it sucks, and it's very isolating, and sometimes very, how am I supposed to put this? Makes you hate life sometimes. Let's put it that way. I personally don't like the word light worker or light healer. I don't think that that's really a thing, but that's just my opinion. But basically, if you notice that there's a certain amount of, or a certain type of person that you always attract, and it's the same thing over and over and over again, maybe look into the fact that there might be something in that dynamic that you are supposed to heal within you to heal the people around you, especially if there's people that are important to you, like family, friends, whatever the case may be. So that's definitely something that I would look into, but regardless of what it is, you are the common denominator. I know I'm repeating myself, but this is really, really important. You are the common denominator, and you are not a victim. And the most important thing with this is that you understand that with great power comes great responsibility. You have the responsibility to better yourself so this doesn't happen to you ever again. But you also have the power to not let anybody walk over you ever again. And one of the biggest and quickest ways you can actually figure out, because the universe will test you, right? They will send you tests all the time, is to see, is to see whether you react or not. That's like the quickest and easiest way to figure out how far are you in your journey. Are you reacting differently to how you normally would? You know what I mean? Are people getting the same reaction out of you? Are they getting a different reaction out of you? Are they getting a reaction out of you at all? And one of the quickest ways you can fix that and fix your self-concept is by affirmations and repetitions. Like that's literally, it's the main go-to. I personally love subliminals. That's why I upload them on my channel. I think they're such a gift. They're so good. I had a comment the other day that made me so happy where someone was like listening to my confidence subliminal, and he said, I don't know, I all of a sudden felt the need to sit up taller, and I didn't know why until I looked into the list of things and it said better posture in there, and that's the power of subliminals. He didn't even know. He had no idea that that was in the subliminal, but he still noticed the change and the difference, and it wasn't a subliminal. That's why they're so powerful. That's why they're so great, and that's why you need to be so careful just what you consume in general. But yeah, basically at the core of it, everybody is your mirror. It's important that you take responsibility for it. But that's the thing. Like, I love the fact that we have to take responsibility for it, because after you get over this like initial shock of crap, it's kind of my fault. I don't like to use the word fault. There's really no fault in this. There's really just control and power. But once you realize that outside of the fact that you brought this in out of, again, no fault of your own, because there were people in the background that were supposed to teach you better, and they didn't. That is literally nobody's fault but the people who mistreated you. You have all the power to change it, fix it, and make sure it never happens to you ever again. I've been kind of on this dark feminine role right now, in the way where I feel like I want to get karma to everybody who's wronged me. I don't care who they are. Like literally destroying their life at this point. But I realized, again, why do I want to do this? Because I feel I haven't gotten vindication. But at the end of the day, the best vindication that you can get is to live a full and happy life while they are miserable. Because again, once you cut off their energy and once you start building your self-worth, these people are going to stop treating you this way because they also see your self-worth. And what happens when you encounter somebody who has a lot of self-worth and who has a lot of confidence? When you are lacking that, right? You automatically feel bad about yourself. You automatically envy them. You know, they automatically become your enemy. Like you go crazy. Maybe you stalk what they're doing. Like you literally just go ham, right? You go nuts in your head. And that is what will happen to the people who have wronged you. Once you realize that you can change the story and that working on yourself is the only thing you should be doing, the dynamic will change so quickly and so swiftly. You will get all the karma in the world without having to lift a finger, if that makes sense. So it's important that, and that's the thing, like, especially if we're talking about wanting revenge, right? Again, it comes into the point that everybody is you pushed out. If you're not careful and you're not affirming correctly, whatever negative thing you're sending them is gonna come back to you. It can happen if you're not careful with what you're doing, and you don't, trust me, you don't want that. So it's really, really important that you make a very clear distinction about what you want. And is it really worth getting the revenge, or do you maybe just want to glow up? Is that really what you want? Do you really just want recognition and, what is it? Just vindication, really, you know? And the biggest vindication you can get is living your life and being happy, and those people being miserable, because they will. They will. It's a natural consequence of you living your life, you know? And they might pout and they might be nasty to you, and they might say mean things to and about you, and they might threaten you. Like, go let them do that. You know what I mean? Go let them do that. Everything that they do to you is going to come back tenfold to them. Just trust and believe in that, you know? And that's the thing. So just be mindful of that when you do everybody is you pushed out, because, and that's usually what people would like refer to as karma. You know what I mean? Like basically saying that, you know, people are getting their karma, but what does that mean? If everybody is you pushed out, if you are sending them karma, what do you think is going to come back to you? Right? So that's why, you know, a lot of people say kindness goes a long way, and it does, because kindness hurts more than anger. Kindness hurts more than revenge and threats and all of that. It hurts more because you are triggering a part in them that is empty, that is not there. You wouldn't have attracted, and I don't like to use the word attract, but you know what I mean. You wouldn't have brought this person into your life if they weren't trying to suck the light out of you. And you know that, because that is how you grew up. People sucking the light out of you, if that makes sense. So you taking your light back and living your best life while their life falls apart is the best thing you can do. But if you then encounter somebody who is doing this to you again, doesn't matter who they are or what their reasoning for it is, that's a sign that you need to work on your self-concept again, or the story. And by the way, just a little disclaimer, because this video is already really long, so I want to like wrap this up. Just because you've affirmed for a really long time and you've gotten all your manifestation and things have been great, does not mean that you can't revert back, that you can't still be triggered, that you can't have, you know, a setback. It can absolutely happen. It's okay. It's normal. It's literally nothing to worry about. But you need to be aware that you are not infallible. You are not invincible. And keeping that in mind will help you kind of always be on your toes, but not really. Like, you don't need to be super careful about every thought that you have. That's not what I'm saying. But if it's something that is strong enough to evoke an emotion in you, and it's something that happens to you repetitively or repeatedly, in a repetitive manner, then yeah, go look into it. See, why is it that way? What is it about that thought yet again, or this concept that is hurting me? Because you know that the next step will be someone who is you pushed out will come and smack you in the face with it. So I know this was a little bit of a rant. I tell you guys every time I'm gonna make like a script, and I never freaking do. I don't know. Tell me if you guys like these rants or if you want a script. I really don't care either way. The one that I did about the celebrity one, that was a whole scripted thing. But yeah, I want to be more present here. Like I said, I realized I don't think you guys care whether I'm here or not, like perfect, as long as I'm here. So, and there's so much more I want to talk about. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I really missed you. I'm gonna be very, very happy to be back because I love TikTok, but TikTok is TikTok. You know what I mean? So anyway, I also wanted to thank everybody who's supporting me, you know, giving me an opportunity to do this full time now. I just appreciate you guys so much. I love you guys. I love feedback. But please leave a comment if this helped you, if you like this, if you would prefer a podcast, or if you want to see my lovely face with my new mermaid hair that I did myself. I'm so proud of this. I'm so shit at doing hair. And I affirmed that I was going to do it like really nicely with like foils and stuff. And I did like the whole foil thing and everything. And I just realized it's raining and I have to take my dog out, which I can't because this will wash out. So I'm going to have to get an umbrella. But anyway, look how my hair turned out. And you can see how my hair turned out like real shit. Just go on my Instagram and you'll see like my hair is crap. But this turned out bomb. So the affirmations worked. Anyway, guys, I don't know how I'm going to recreate this once it's washed out, but I'll figure it out. So go and affirm something today. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you are affirming about today. Or like, I would love to hear a situation where you encountered somebody and you actually realized that it was a situation of you being like everybody being you pushed out. Sorry. I would love to hear about it. So go leave a comment. Like I said, I will try and get to everybody. Just give me a little bit of time. And please follow me on Instagram and follow me on TikTok, preferably on both accounts, and on my tarot channel here if you are into tarot, because the announcement of the website will be coming. And not only that, I have some very, very special things that I am so freaking excited about. I can't even tell you yet, but it came to me. Again, it was like a download, like a psychic download, and I can't wait. I can't wait for you guys to see it. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day. I'm going to enjoy the rainy weather because it's my favorite weather of like ever, all time. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.